to China. Check out this warehouse. It's in Reedley, California. It's no ordinary warehouse. It's illegal. It is an illegal Chinese-run virus laboratory. Local and federal officials raided the facility. They discovered that it stored at least 20 infectious agents, including coronavirus, HIV, herpes, and malaria. But it was also genetically engineering mice. The lab was run under a company called Prestige Biotech. It was unlicensed for business in California. And get this, if it were not for a garden hose sticking out of the building, the warehouse might not have been discovered. And now Chairman of the House Select Committee on China, Congressman Mike Gallagher, is calling the discovery of the lab troubling. Wisconsin Republican and Chairman of the House Select Committee on China, Congressman Mike Gallagher, joins me. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good to be with you.
What was this lab for, and why did the Chinese own a lab in California?
Well, the reality is we don't know the full extent of the purpose or whether there are additional facilities like this in the United States. What we are seeing across the board, though, from the Chinese Communist Party is an all-out assault on American sovereignty. And it's not just the discovery of this lab. Obviously, we've seen the establishment of illegal police stations in the heart of Manhattan. We've seen troubling land purchases on behalf of Chinese entities near American military bases. We've seen continued cyber warfare against our infrastructure domestically. So across the board, the CCP is testing us. They're exploiting the loopholes in our system, and we're not doing enough to defend ourselves right now. We need to take steps to prevent this from happening. It's across the board, and the extent of Chinese spying and so-called United Front work is still poorly understood. This should teach us one thing above all else, that the China threat is not just a distant over there threat, it's a right here at home threat.
Well, I get the concern about having China here in the United States. I mean, I've done stories on them buying farmland near Air Force Base, North Dakota. I mean, I get that, but I guess I'm particularly gun shy when it comes to a lab after what happened in Wuhan and all the controversy surrounding that they could set up a lab owned by Chinese here in the United States. Not that it's so hard to deliver a virus across a border, but that we don't know that it's even going on, and they're doing genetically engineering mice. That naturally, it is alarming to me without more information.
As it should be, and the American public deserves more information. I've encouraged the FBI to be as forthcoming as possible on this. It's still early stages into the investigation, but we need to be fully transparent, which is the exact opposite of what the Chinese Communist Party was from the start of this pandemic. You referenced the activity happening at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. The reality is we still haven't gotten to the bottom of how the pandemic started. The evidence is stacking up, obviously, in favor of the lab leak hypothesis. We know that there was American taxpayer dollars being funneled through nonprofit organizations to do dangerous work on making naturally occurring viruses more chimeric, more pathogenic. And so clearly they have the capability to do dangerous things like this. If indeed it proves true that they've exported it beyond China's borders, that's even more troubling, which is why we need full transparency, a full investigation into this in order to prevent stuff like this from happening going forward.
Do we have full transparency from our own Department of Defense about what that spy balloon was doing? Because it made it all the way across the United States. It had maneuverability. What about that?
No, we don't. And there again, you referenced how this biolab incident was caught. Someone saw a garden hose and it might have gone undetected. Well, remember, the spy balloon may not have become public were it not for the intrepid reporting of the Montana Billings Gazette. Clearly, the Biden administration didn't want it to become public because, of course, at the time, they were trying to preserve Secretary Blinken's trip to Beijing, and they didn't want anything to upset that. So it lazily drifted over the United States, including over sensitive nuclear facilities, until we shot it down after it transited the United States. We still haven't gotten a full public account of what exactly happened, the key decisions that were made. And right now, I'm really worried that we continue to slow roll transparency on the spy balloon, as well as critical defensive action like tightening up export controls, sanctioning key Chinese Communist Party officials, because the Biden administration is intent on reviving diplomatic and economic engagement with the Chinese Communist Party as a foundation of our foreign policy, which I think is a fool's errand and a very dangerous road to go down.
Congressman Mike Gallagher, thank you. And I think the American people ought to know these things. It shouldn't be a secret from them. But thank you, sir.
Absolutely.